So a lot of people want to talk about illustration rares right now, and they're beautiful. They're skyrocketing in price. PSA 10s are going crazy. PSA is having a hard time keeping up with the demand, like the amount of people who are actually sending cards into PSA. And some cards that I don't think a lot of people are really talking about right now are the tag team promos, specifically some of these ones, like these ones that came out of the tins, right? So like these are absolutely shooting up right now. Like 11 months ago, 10 months ago, something like that, I posted a video up. I'll put a link somewhere here, but I posted a video about tag team promos, specifically about PSA 10 tag team promos. And I covered this card right here. Okay. And at the time, this Umbreon Darkrai promo had something like, I don't know, 700 copies in a PSA 10, and it was going for $200. Meanwhile, the Moonbreon is like, you know, literally taking off to the moon, and this card is sitting around $250. And the Espeon Deoxys promo was sitting around $150. So it's crazy. Like, just, you know, rewind last year, even just 11, 12 months before today, a lot of these cards were super cheap. Like this card right here, okay? This card was super cheap for a while. We have confirmed sales of this card selling for in and around and over $500 in a PSA 10. This card right here, I got this card for $100, like, you know, even just like 6 months ago. So, you know, cards like this, right? Like this card's starting to move and you know, make strides. So what happened with these cards, and why didn't anybody see this coming or want this? And my theory is that these came in promotional boxes and tins. And I think the sentiment for a long time, at least like if you looked at like, you know, the Leonharts and the Pokérevs and like a lot of the YouTubers that came out of that COVID boom, everybody kind of wanted set cards. They wanted like huge chase pulls from boxes, from sets, and specifically, you know, Modern got really, really popular, especially at the tail end of COVID and into today. And so a lot of people want cards from sets. These, you know, these being promos, I think the sentiment was, well, anyone can get these. They're readily available. You can buy them, and you were able to see them even in like 2020, 2021. You were able to see them at, you know, Targets, Walmarts, things like that. And people just wanted these set cards. You know, and they wanted the Moonbreons, they wanted the Altarts, you know, they wanted a lot of that stuff. And Cosmic Eclipse was still hot, and they wanted the Pikachu. And I think what we're starting to realize, at least in the way of Scarlet Violet, I think people are getting very smart to the idea that promos aren't always the easiest to find. I mean, you're seeing this with like Pokemon Center promos right now with ETBs, right? Like they're just given out in Pokemon Center ETBs, but that doesn't mean they're easy to find at all. It certainly doesn't mean that they're easy to grade. So last year I made some videos about some of these Altart PSA 10 copies, and just kind of curious, like why are these so cheap if their populations are so low? You know, if some of these are like the Charizard and Reshiram, you know, that was like hovering around 300, 400 copies in a PSA 10, and it was selling for like, you know, $400 to $700 for the longest time. It's just crazy. It's like, why is that happening? Well, if you go back to Sun and Moon, you'll realize also that rainbows were really popular. That was the big chase. You know, the Altarts really hadn't like come to fruition yet in terms of their popularity. That really took place in Sword and Shield. And so with the Sun and Moon era, the rainbow rares were actually really what you wanted. And then after Sword and Shield got going into the middle of Sword and Shield, obviously Altarts came into be. And then now everybody's kind of like gone back and wanted these Altarts. And so they're looking at these like these promos from these tag team era tins, and they're thinking, oh my gosh, like these are cream of the crop. Like we need to get these Altarts. And they were so cheap for so long. And it boggles my mind how they were so cheap for so long. Their Altarts, specifically like this one's really crazy to me, because like this was like around, you know, $200 for so long. And it is an Altart Umbreon card in a PSA 10 for $200. And it's literally an Umbreon card. And there's less than 1,000 copies that exist in PSA 10, like in the entire world. So anyway, I just think it's fascinating. It's a fascinating case study. It kind of makes me wonder like what's going to happen next. You know, are the illustration rares really going to be that next thing that sort of you know, takes over the hobby, like alt arts took over the hobby? It kind of just makes me wonder. And so I don't know. I just wanted to pop on here and share my thoughts. I just think it's kind of crazy that certain cards get slept on, and that you know, when the market cycles and there's booms with specific types of cards, cards get slept on, and it kind of makes me wonder like what cards are getting slept on right now. And I can't wait to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this. What do you think about cards right now that you think may be getting slept on? And yeah, let me know. All right, peace.